See that? Wow, very cool. I'm surprised that these type of things we can like experiment that these type of things are nowadays, because it's an old ship that was serving on the troops and also the war for us here in the United States. But let me tell you, I get surprised about everything. Get surprised about everything, and let me tell you, if you don't live this experience, try to live it right away. Oh, wow. Drops. Wow.
1965 to 1974. Intrepid operating as an auxiliary attack carrier off Vietnam, 1966. After this mission, Intrepid entered the Brooklyn Navy Yard in April for a major overhaul to bring her back to peak combat readiness. This was the final fleet rehabilitation and modernization job performed by the New York Naval Shipyard, Brooklyn, New York, which was scheduled to close. In September 1965, Intrepid, with her work approximately 75% completed, eased down the East River to moor at the Naval Supply Depot at Bayonne, New Jersey, for the completion of her multi-million-dollar overhaul. After builders' sea trials and fitting out at Norfolk, she sailed to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba on a shakedown cruise, too. From April 1966 to February 1969, Intrepid made 3 Vietnam deployments, with carrier Air Wing 10 embarked. 13, mid-1966 found Intrepid with the Pacific Fleet off Vietnam. 9 A-4 Skyhawks and 6 A-1 Sky Raiders, loaded with bombs and rockets, were catapulted in 7 minutes, with only a 28-second interval between launches. A few days later, planes were launched at 26-second intervals. After 7 months of service with the United States 7th Fleet off Vietnam, Intrepid returned to Norfolk, having earned her commanding officer, Captain John W. Fair, the Legion of Merit for combat operations in Southeast Asia, too. On October 9, 1966, Lieutenant, Junior Grade William T. Patton of VA-176 from Intrepid, flying a propeller-driven A-1H Sky Raider, shot down 1 MiG-17. For the action, Lieutenant J.G. Patton was awarded the Silver Star. Intrepid operating in the Mediterranean in the 1970s. In 1969, Intrepid was home-ported at Naval Air Station Quonset Point, Rhode Island, relieving Yorktown as the flagship for Commander Carrier Division 16. In the fall, the ship was run aground by Captain Horace E. Moore, but was freed within 2 hours. From April-October 1971, Intrepid took part in NATO exercises and made calls in the North Atlantic and Mediterranean ports of Lisbon, Plymouth, Kiel, Naples, Cannes, Barcelona, Hamburg, Copenhagen, Greenock, Rosyth, Portsmouth, and Bergen. During this cruise, submarine detection operations were conducted in the Baltic and at the edge of the Barents Sea above the Arctic Circle, under close scrutiny of Soviet air and naval forces. She subsequently returned to her home port to be refitted. World War II. Central Pacific operations. Intrepid off Hunters Point in June 1944, her deck loaded with aircraft to be transported to the Pacific Theater. Intrepid joined the Fast Carrier Task Force, then Task Force 58, TF-58, for the next operation in the island hopping campaign across the Central Pacific, the Gilbert and Marshall Islands campaign. On January 16, 1944, Intrepid, her sister ship Essex, and the light carrier Cabot left Pearl Harbor to conduct a raid on islands in the Kwajalein Atoll from January 29 to February 2. The 3 carriers' air group destroyed all 83 Japanese aircraft stationed on Roina Moor in the first 2 days of the strikes, before Marines went ashore on neighboring islands on January 31 in the Battle of Kwajalein. That morning, aircraft from Intrepid attacked Japanese beach defenses on Onyubing Island until 10 minutes before the first Marines landed.
Okay.
If you have any questions on what let me know. This is the captain's bridge.
Yeah.
This is where you control the ship's speed, movements, and direction. You can actually see how it felt to drive the ship if you want.
For real?
Yeah, sure.
Oh my God, it's like, it feels very heavy.
It's about 150,000 horsepower, powered steering, and as well, actually, this is one of the US Navy would put in their ships first before your regular life, and you have to do it for 4 to 6 hours at a time.
And what is for those equipment for?
This one over here?
Yeah.
This is a talk tube or voice tube.
Go for real?
So, yeah, so basically if all communication goes out, you're going to yell down to the next person, to the next person. They saw them on ships today, but it's more for tradition, but still.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it looks great. At that time, but have to work like properly, you know, to communicate with others. Wow, but let me tell you, from which year is this ship? Is
1943 to 1974. Cold War, World War II, Vietnam War, and the Space Race.
But it's not too old.
It's 79.
Yeah. Yeah, I born on the 83.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your explanation.
Have a good day, okay?
You as well. Thank you.
Minutes after he was located by land-based search aircraft, 2 helicopters from Intrepid, carrying NASA officials, medical experts, Navy frogmen, and photographers, were airborne and headed to the rescue. One of the helicopters picked him up over an hour later and flew him to the carrier, which safely returned him to the United States. Intrepid spent the summer of 1962 training midshipmen at sea, and received a thorough overhaul at Norfolk in the fall, too. On January 23, 1963, the carrier departed Hampton Roads for warfare exercises in the Caribbean. In late February, she interrupted these operations to join a sea hunt for the Venezuelan freighter Anzoátegui, which had been hijacked by a group of pro-Castro mutineers led by the second mate, citation needed. After the mutineers had surrendered at Rio de Janeiro, the carrier returned to Norfolk on March 23. Intrepid operated along the Atlantic coast for the next year from Nova Scotia to the Caribbean, perfecting her anti-submarine techniques. On June 11, 1964, she left Norfolk carrying midshipmen to the Mediterranean for a hunter-killer at sea training with the 6th Fleet. While in the Mediterranean, Intrepid aided in the surveillance of a Soviet task group. En route home, her crew learned that she had won the coveted battle efficiency for anti-submarine warfare during the previous fiscal year. In the fall of 1964, the carrier operated along the East Coast. In early September, Intrepid entertained 22 NATO statesmen as part of their tour of U.S. military installations. Between the 18th and the 19th of October 1964, Intrepid was at Yorktown for ceremonies commemorating Lord Cornwallis's surrender 183 years before. The French ambassador attended the ceremony and presented the U.S. with 12 cannon cast from molds found in the Bastille, replicas of those brought to American forces by Lafayette.
Haha, look the background behind me, guys. Look the city. That's the reason why you have to be a financial freedom person. If you have the product, if you have your website, and you know how to sell online, you're gonna be a successful person daily in your life. Let me tell you, subscribe, smash the like button, share this content, and comment on this video if you wanna be a financial freedom person like I am. I live daily like a tourist, in one place going to another, in one side of the city going to another, now hanging out with friends. And let me tell you, you can do so as well. I have the system, I have the way that I can teach you how to sell online, how to be viral, how you can sell through Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and also be a YouTuber like the way I am. Also, you will want to have the possibility to upload your website and have an autoresponder to welcome everyone to join your website and grab their email, grab their telephone number to text messages, or send email to with your offer daily. And let me tell you, you don't have to be looking everyday clients. You only have to grab their emails and send every day your offers, instead that you have to looking for people that people are looking for you. Instead that you have to struggle looking for people to sell, you were gonna have the same client from yesterday and sell it today if you have a new offer, or continue selling the same offer if you like to. But the best option that I will give you guys is the traffic. The traffic is the most important thing that a company or personal salesperson needs to sell every day. Even though that you sell online or not, let me tell you, you have to be on the spot, because if you are on the spot, you're not gonna have any trouble doing your business daily. Also, I will gonna give you as well 200 leads daily. The leads are the people that you're gonna sell it online. You only have to sell your offer to them daily. You will gonna have the people that you are requesting to sell your offer. So let me tell you, you will gonna have the system who's gonna teach you how to sell online, how to sell on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and also be a YouTuber to drive traffic from YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook to your website. Also, you will going to have the possibility to upload your website and also have an autoresponder to grab their emails, and also tell people about that you're gonna sell online your offer daily. So you're gonna have the 3 step, 1, 2, 3 to be successful online. It's just only you have to take action, and that's it, and do so like that way I'm doing right now. Like, tell you guys, with this type of background, I'm never gonna leave New York. That's the reason why I take a decision to be a financial freedom person here at New York City, because everyone's deserves to live in a city like that. But let me tell you how to live in a city like this. It's with money. Money helps everyone to be happy and happier every day. So smash that like button, take a decision to be a financial freedom person, and you will gonna have everything in life that you need. Remember, everything that you need in life, somebody has that thing out there. All you have to do is step up and look for it. Have a good one.
USS Intrepid. On December 12, 2011, ownership of the Space Shuttle Enterprise was officially transferred to the Intrepid Sea, Air and Space Museum in New York City. On April 27, 2012, Enterprise was flown from Dulles International Airport for a flyby over the Hudson River, New York's JFK International Airport, the Statue of Liberty, the George Washington and Verrazano Narrows bridges, and several other landmarks in the city in an approximately 45-minute final tour, landing at JFK International Airport. Also known as the Fighting Eye, is one of 24 Essex-class aircraft carriers built during World War II for the United States Navy. She is the fourth U.S. Navy ship to bear the name. Commissioned in August 1943, Intrepid participated in several campaigns in the Pacific Theater of Operations, including the Battle of Leyte Gulf. Decommissioned shortly after the end of the war, she was modernized and recommissioned in the early 1950s as an attack carrier, CVA, and then eventually became an anti-submarine carrier, CVS. In her second career, she served mainly in the Atlantic, but also participated in the Vietnam War. She was the recovery ship for a Mercury and a Gemini space mission. Because of her prominent role in battle, she was nicknamed the Fighting Eye. While her frequent bad luck and time spent in dry dock for repairs, she was torpedoed once and hit in separate attacks by 4 Japanese kamikaze aircraft, earned her the nicknames Decrepit and the Dry Eye. Decommissioned for the second time in 1974, in 1982 Intrepid became the foundation of the Intrepid Sea, Air and Space Museum in New York City. Service history. The keel for Intrepid was laid down on December 1, 1941 in Shipway 10 at the Newport News Shipbuilding and Dry Dock Company, Newport News, Virginia, days before the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor and the United States entrance into World War II. She was launched on April 26, 1943, the 5th Essex-class aircraft carrier to be launched. She was sponsored by the wife of Vice Admiral John H. Hoover. On August 16, 1943, she was commissioned with Captain Thomas L. Sprague in command before heading to the Caribbean for shakedown and training. She thereafter returned to Norfolk before departing on December 3, bound for San Francisco. She proceeded on to Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, arriving there on January 10, where she began preparations to join the rest of the Pacific Fleet for offensive operations against the Imperial Japanese Navy. The three carriers' air group destroyed all 83 Japanese aircraft stationed on Roynamur in the first 2 days of the strikes, before Marines went ashore on neighboring islands on January 31 in the Battle of Kwajalein. That morning, aircraft from Intrepid attacked Japanese beach defenses on Onyubing Island until 10 minutes before the first Marines landed. The Marines quickly took the island and used it as a fire base to support the follow-on attack on Roy. After the fighting in the Kwajalein Atoll finished, on February 3, Intrepid and the rest of TF-58 proceeded to launch Operation Hailstone, a major raid on the main Japanese naval base in the Central Pacific, Truk Lagoon. From 17 to February 19, the carriers pounded Japanese forces in the lagoon, sinking 2 destroyers and some 200,000 GRT of merchant ships. The strikes demonstrated